What is up, guys? In today's video, we're talking about a massive weather pattern change that is going to lead to significant above average temperatures and huge storms that are upcoming. Let's get right into today's video. It is currently really cold across much of the US right now, but that is going to change significantly after Monday. We're going to see this continuance of really below average frigid temperatures here on tonight, on Sunday night, into Monday morning hours, where it's still going to be very cold across much of the central and eastern US, and that may continue into Tuesday morning too. But once we get to around Tuesday in the afternoon, we're going to see big changes incoming, with a big old switch to much above average temperatures is going to be on the way. I do think that there is potential we get one more little Arctic blast that comes through on Thursday night into Friday morning, but that will be just a short little blast of Arctic air that will come through on Thursday night to Friday morning, and then we'll start to go away and we'll see more big jumps into much above average temperatures. See, we're in this really below average temperatures right now, and then we're going to see this huge change above average temperatures, especially on Thursday here, where it's going to be extremely hot across much of the US. That little cold blast comes in on Friday morning, but then we go right back to really above average temperatures on Saturday, Sunday, even next Tuesday. It's going to be really hot across much of the US. It's just complete above average temperatures across basically the entire US, which is really crazy, and there's not much signs of it ending. Yes, I do think there will be changes. We'll see some fluctuations between above average and then back to those below average spells when Arctic blasts come in from Canada, but it's not showing much signs of this huge warm air ending anytime soon. I do think there is a possibility that we get another weather pattern shift once we get into January, but for most of the rest of December, it's going to be much above average and pretty warm, 50s, maybe even 60s in some spots across much of the central and eastern US. So if you love warm weather, if you love snow, then this is a terrible pattern for you. But if you love warmer weather, then this is probably a dream come true. One thing, though, about this Arctic air is it's going to get very cold across much of the deep south. Areas tomorrow morning across Florida, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Louisiana, and Mississippi regions could be getting to single-digit feels likes on Monday morning, almost all the way to the Florida coast. Could see these frigid cold temperatures here on the Florida Panhandle, Louisiana, Mississippi, where it's going to be very cold Monday morning, and these people down there are not very used to this cold like this, and that's going to continue a little bit on Tuesday morning too, with temperatures getting below 32 degrees there. So it's definitely going to be very frigid tomorrow morning, so definitely bundle up there in the deep south, as it's going to be very cold. Now, if you look at the top left side of your screen over there in portions of New York and Pennsylvania and Ohio regions, you will see that we are going to see a little bit of lake effect snowfall that is going to start in, as a really big band of snow could head in here on Monday into Tuesday, and that lake effect snow could definitely last for a long time on Monday into Tuesday morning across parts of Buffalo, New York regions, and Rochester, and portions of Pennsylvania and Ohio regions near Lake Erie that we could see. Now, this is not going to be anything like a super crazy lake effect snow event where we get 20 inches of snow across much of those areas, but this could definitely drop some snow where we could see an occasional 4 to 6, maybe 4 to 8 inches of snow in some spots across New York and Pennsylvania regions. If we look at the National Blend of Models prediction, it's just around 3 to 6 inches of snow across Buffalo, New York, and portions of Pennsylvania. But areas right up here in northern New York, I don't really know which town that is in. I think Watertown, New York, maybe, is going to see a little small band of snow where we could see up to 10 inches of snow in that area. That could definitely see the bullseye of lake effect snow totals from Lake Ontario. Now, another thing I did want to mention is across the northwest of the U.S., we're going to be seeing constant storm systems rolling through the region and dumping tons of rain. It's like consistent rain constantly across the coast of Oregon, Northern California, and Washington regions near Seattle, where we already have seen some significant flooding across Washington. And this is going to continue for a long time, with tons, and I mean tons, of rainfall impacting parts of these regions, where the models or the named 12 km model is showing some areas that could lead to nearly 10 inches of rain in some spots. Really could find in the portions of Washington and Oregon regions, especially in the mountainous areas. But also, this is going to bring an insane amount of snowfall to parts of the mountainous regions in Washington and Oregon, where we could be seeing an absolute crazy amount of snow in some of the mountains in Washington where we could see some areas. The max shows up to 70 inches of snow in some spots in the mountains of Washington, showing that we're going to be seeing a lot of rain from these storm systems. So definitely be prepared for some significant flash flooding here. One of the bullseye areas could be in Northern California, where we could see areas of 2 to 3 inches, maybe 2 to 4, 5 inches of rain in some spots, but especially up there in northern Washington near Seattle, where some spots could see up to 8 inches of rainfall from this system over the next few days or so, where it's going to be constantly raining for days and days and days. It looks like it's just going to be raining across these areas constantly for a long time in Washington and Oregon region. So definitely be prepared and turn around and don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Now, we also could see a big storm system develop here. Some of those big rainfall systems that are going to occur across portions of Washington, Oregon, and much of the northwest areas could also make us develop a big storm system across parts of the central and eastern U.S. that could develop. Remember, we're going to be in the more of this warm weather pattern, so we'll see more above average temperatures, and that's where we see that big cold blast come through after that storm system comes through on a Friday morning that we were talking about, a potential isolated, short-lived cold blast that could lead to some isolated snowfall, really confined. We're going to be seeing a lot of this above average temperatures, so the snow will be lifting a lot up north. So where we do see snowfall is more going to be confined in portions of Minnesota and northern Wisconsin regions up there near Lake Superior. So not really much snowfall for the central U.S. Remember, I said this pattern's really not going to be great for snow lovers, and we'll see more of that rainfall across much of the central U.S. on Thursday, and then we'll push into much of the northeast on Friday in the morning hours, with maybe some isolated backside snowfall in parts of the mountains in New York and Vermont regions on a Friday at night there. And then another system could come through later on, but we really don't know much details on that right now, and we'll get more information once we get closer to that. Overall, the northern west coast of the U.S. is going to be really active, with much storm systems especially going to lead to more flash flooding across the northwest, and a lot of snow in the mountainous regions in the northwest U.S. too. That'll probably be a dream come true for skiers up there in the northwest. Alright, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. It's definitely going to be a very different weather pattern. We've been seeing these much below average temperatures for much of the start of winter so far. The start of winter has been awesome and pretty crazy in terms of snowfall and cold temperatures, but we are going to see that shift to much above average temperatures that's going to come in. That's as normal with winter. We get shifts to above average. It's not going to be cold always. It's not going to be frigidly cold all of winter, so we're going to be back to more above average temperatures, and it's probably not going to be great for snow lovers. I'm not seeing any signs of a huge snowstorm coming in at all in the next few weeks or so. It could change. It could definitely change in the future, but definitely not good for snow lovers. But definitely a big storm system is going to hit parts of the northwest with big time flash flooding and snowfall in the mountainous regions, and plus some lake effect snowfall in parts of Buffalo, New York, and Watertown, New York regions. We could see an isolated storm system move through on Thursday. Not much details on it yet. We don't know how significant it could be, but there could definitely be some significant rainfall and potentially some isolated snowfall in the northern U.S. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and bye everybody.